House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
You're listening to House of Cards.
Today, the game is different.
I want to gamble. Gambling is a very serious business. Is that clear?
Welcome to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you, deep from the swamps of Jersey. We got a great show coming up for you. Boy, I'm excited to talk to our guest coming up. In the world of sports betting, he is a legend. In fact, he's been called the bookmaker's bookmaker. I'm talking, of course, about the great Jimmy Vaccaro. As of recently, he was at the South Point Casino and Sportsbook in Vegas, but now he came back east to run the sportsbook at the Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh, and we're going to hear all about it. Stick around. We'll be right back with House of Cards.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
You're listening to House of Cards. Check out our website at houseofcardsradio.com.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you. You know, when it comes to sports betting, it's rare when you get to talk to a legend in the field, and that's what I'm going to do today. This guy has done and seen everything when it comes to casinos and sports books. Until recently, he was the director of sports marketing at the South Point Casino in Vegas, but now he's back on the East Coast to head up the sports book at the Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh. Of course, I'm talking about the great Jimmy Vaccaro. Jimmy, thanks for coming on.
It's my pleasure, young man, and always enjoy talking about sports gambling, and now obviously a new era with legalization across the country. So at a tender age of 73, I'm getting revitalized, but it's been a lot of fun so far.
Did you ever think you'd see the day when sports betting came to outside of Vegas?
Oh, there was a time when I thought it was almost a slam dunk, and then, as usual, the politicians snuffed it out. I can remember going back well over 30 years ago where there's actually representatives from some of the people on the East Coast saying, let's review this Wire Act and so forth and maybe get this thing started on the right track. At that particular time, I thought, this thing had a chance, but then naturally, after that failed, then obviously Bill Bradley stepping in there and slamming everything dead way back in the early 90s. Yep. It seemed like it would never happen again. Did a few of the American Gaming Association conferences probably started about 3 to 5 years ago, and you thought you might have had a breath of fresh air there. And obviously, after all that time, but to answer your question, yes, I thought we'd get here. Did not think it would take this long.
Well, let me ask you about your new position at Rivers Casino. It's a bit of a homecoming for you, right? You're from the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah, I'm right from a little town right now. I'm in Trafford, Pennsylvania, 22 miles east of Pittsburgh. So growing up here, naturally, I knew a lot of things about what you would consider the word illegal gambling, but it was all around you, and I enjoyed it quite a bit as a youngster. But then moved to Las Vegas in my 20s, and actually I played relatively lucky when I got to Las Vegas. Remember this, guys, out there listening, that the sports books were at the time not involved in the casinos on, anywhere in Las Vegas. The hotel didn't want anything to do with sports betting because of the low percentage and low hold of money. So in 73 or 74, Lefty Rosenthal, the famous Lefty Rosenthal, opened up the sports book in the Stardust Hotel, and then the great Bob Martin, who obviously needs no introduction there, opened the sports book at the Union Plaza, which is downtown. Then Michael Gaughan, my mentor for all these years, opened up a small casino right down the street from the Stardust, and we were the third or fourth to open up sports betting in a casino. Since that time, I think there's now 145 places in the state of Nevada where you can make legal bets on sports wagering. So it was a long journey. I landed at the right time, got my chance with Michael Gaughan, and from that particular point in time, I rode the wave like a lot of other people, but it's been a great ride so far, and I'm not done yet.
As a young guy starting out in the sports betting business, what surprised you about the industry itself when you first started out? Because I know a lot of young people are trying to get involved in the casinos and the sports books. What advice do you give them? What should they look for when they get their first job there?
Well, it's really harder than it used to be for the main reason is very simple. As you know, consolidation has taken over the world in general, and obviously it's taken over in the casinos. What I mean by that, like Stations Casino, a monster operation. Actually, Artie Manteris, another Pittsburgh kid who worked for me way back when, now he's the president of all them. They control 11 casinos and 11 sports books. So what that does, young man, is like it takes away people like aspiring to like get in with the stations and go to the top real quick. Well, you got 10 people in front of you every position that you want. When I first came to town, when it was brand new, it was a lot easier. From the start of the Aladdin on the Strip clear down to the Sahara, there might be 15 different places where you could get a job that wasn't run by one company. So that part makes it really, really harder. I used to tell kids way back when, it's not a bad time to come out. I said, if you want to start as a ticket writer or any way you can in the sports book, you have some knowledge of what it is this stuff is all about, you have a fair chance. But since that time, you got to come in, and barring something really crazy, you're probably looking at a 3 to 5 year period before you even get promoted in the place that you're at, only because it's cannibalized to some degree that one guy runs, 10 books at a time. So quite different, and I tell them in a nice, sincere way, because we've all been down this road, when you come, have enough money to support yourself for about a year. The glitz and glamour will get right to you, and you'll think you'll be another genius coming to town, and you'll feel bad about yourself if you're dead broke after about 3 or 4 months and you got to go to work every day. So it's just something I tell out of what can I say? We've all been down that road. So it's not what it used to be, but now with the legalization of sports everywhere, I tell every kid that calls me up, call and see what states are offering what. Now, at least fill out a resume and an application, even if you're not from that state. You may get a break. I know we hired 2 people at the Rivers who from Las Vegas, and simply because they had the background, they had the understanding, they knew what was going on, but they had to go 2,000 miles, but the trip was worth it. So be careful, have some foresight, don't get crazy. It takes a little longer, but please throw your name out there everywhere, because I would suggest, and this is just Jimmy's guess, in the next 3 to 5 years, there'll be another 15 states that'll legalize sports betting, which gives you some opportunity maybe to break in at the low ranks.
We'll be right back with more House of Cards right after this quick break. House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to Drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with Drizzly.com.
I wanna hold them like they do in Texas Plays. A little gambling is fun when you're with me, I love it. Russian roulette is not the same without a gun. And baby, when it's love, if it's not rough, it isn't fun. But oh, I'll get him hot, show him what I've got. I'll get him hot, show him what I've got. Can't read my, no he can't read my poker face. She's got to love nobody. Can't read my, no he can't read my poker face. She's got to love nobody. Pop, 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 poker face, pop, pop, poker face. Mama, pop, 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 poker face. Guys, pop, poker face. Guys, mama. Look, I really think it's time for us to do something. This is all getting way out of hand. What do you mean? The song is sweet.
You're listening to House of Cards.
The answer is probably. We're finished.
What are the odds? 1 in 100?
I don't do odds. I gave very detailed
casinos, sir.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishottle with you here. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Jimmy Vaccaro from the Rivers Casino Sportsbook in Pittsburgh. Now, as you said, I mean, you worked in the business for over 40 years now, and you were actually part of the evolution of the sports betting business. You were there and you've seen it all. I mean, over the years, how has the sports betting business itself changed?
Well, it's very simple, young man, and I get asked that quite a bit. And it's just taken out of the back rooms where once as a kid, I'm actually right in front of a house like this. This guy used to be a small-time bookmaker in this little town of Trafford. That has completely changed. So what we're seeing now, more than anything else, is like take it out of the back room. No cigar smoking, throw the cigarette on the floor, no cussing out loud or getting crazy. That stuff is done. The most important thing, I believe, that come along in the last 25 to 30 years are women are now frequenting the sports books more and more every year. They understand it better, they like it better, and it used to be like when the guy would say, I'm going over to the sports book, his wife or girlfriend at the time would say, okay, go over there. You would be surprised, especially on the weekend when there's something really going on, that they're with them, and sometimes they're just with a group of women themselves. They enter contests, they frequent the book, and then they're there. You have them inside your building. So I would say women showing up in sports books has been dramatic. I thought it would grow, but it's growing much faster than I once thought it would be.
Yeah, I want to talk about the older sports books. I mean, back in the 70s and 80s. I'm sitting here in New Jersey, and I'm being more aware of the point spreads and the money lines, and I'm amazed how often the books get these numbers right. Were they always as accurate in the 70s and 80s when it came to setting the odds and money lines, or is this the computerized age and you're putting in algorithms, and are they more accurate now than they were before?
Well, no, I wouldn't use the word more accurate, but it's like everything else, young man, and I say this with all sincerity. The part of the reason why I'm still around is, yes, we all know about the computerized sports world, and make no mistake about it. You could see it coming about, between 7 to 8 years ago, that it was coming, and you better be prepared. And what happened, and I hate to say this about friends that I grew up with or friends that I made friends with a long time ago, they didn't want that. They just wanted to go back to the old pencil in the back of the ear, sit down at night and scrape up a few things, look at tomorrow's schedule, make a number on it, bring it to the place you're working at, and go from there. That's completely different. Now everything is sent overnight. Everything is sent, months ahead of time. There was a time when, it'll show up again. Give it about another 6 weeks when the NFL sends its schedule out for the first week of the football season. We'll post odds on those. That was never done before. Future books were never done until like a month before the season started. It's a new era. So what I'm trying to say is, like, if you're getting into it, don't think you're just going to come in and ramrod it because you've been around for 40 years. What I've done, hopefully, to some degree, I think it shows that why I lasted this long is like I welcome the new stuff. I look at everything. I listen to everything everybody says, but there's still 25% in me that says, I still have to have a feel for this. I still have to have an understanding of what I think is going to happen, how it's going to happen, how it's going to unravel. Those are the guys who will survive. So the algorithms and everything else, yes, it's there. But the only thing I point out, and I'm very sincere about this, being what we would call me a bookmaker or whatever, there was other things that I looked at constantly to see the growth in the industry in general. That's your ticket count. How many tickets did you write this week as opposed to last week? If the number keeps going up, you're doing a pretty good job. It's like every other business. You must keep reinventing yourself. If you don't do this, it won't happen. So you have to have an understanding. And here's the point I'm making. Every mid-January, early February, the state of Nevada, and I'm sure Pennsylvania and the other states will do this very soon also, is like they send you a compiled record of the entire year on what every sports book took on every type of bet that they have. So in general, all the money goes in and like, how much did we pay out? Well, the percentage hold on those things have been holding steady between 4.5% and 6.5% ever since I can remember. So what I'm saying is, like, if you maintain with what you're doing, with the understanding of like always looking what's next, you're going to hold around this. You don't want to go below the 4% because almost like you're breaking even. I've been doing it a long time. The highest win percentage I've ever had or heard from other people was, 8% for the year. That means we knocked down a lot of favorites, a lot of teasers, a lot of marquee teams went down. So, but you do pay attention to it, but you got to keep your eyes open. Contests are a huge deal anymore. We first did the Pick the Pros contest in the Royal Inn in 1978. I think we had 600 people who entered the contest, which wasn't bad at the time.
Sure.
Now, the Royal Inn grew into the Barbie Coast, which was an absolute firecracker when it came to other places opening up soon. We did 33,000 people in the contest in 1983. Wow. So you can see from 600 to a span of 4 to 5 years later, we had 33,000. Now there's contests everywhere. So some of the things I'm proud of, and some of the things, maybe we could do a little bit better job, but happy to be a part of what you call the evolution.
Well, it's amazing to hear you talk, to hear the experiences you have. So you're the guy that I want to ask this question to. In your opinion, what makes a sports book great?
Well, it's like any other business. First of all, there's a lot of competition anymore. Make no mistake about it. Like I said, there was beside the independents way back that didn't have many casinos, the Harry Gordon at Churchill Downs, Gene Mayday at Little Caesars, Bill Dark in North Las Vegas. These people had no casinos, so it was just what we would call the old time BMs being in there. So what makes it now? It's like every other business. You got to be fair. You got to treat the people good. And remember, and I've told this to every kid that's worked for me over the past how many years, that, listen, the guy that bets $15 on a 3-team parlay and the guy in the next window bets $5,000 on a 2-team parlay, well, the guy that bets the $15, he thinks he's just as important as the guy who bets $5,000. So you got to tread water a little bit and treat this guy, because the $15 guy every day is going to come into your place, and so you have to like make it easy for him, and you can't be afraid to take a bet. There's a lot of people that poo-poo some of that stuff. I don't think I've ever. I know for sure I've never told a person he can't have a bet. That's for sure. You try to accommodate everybody. Now I know we're into the era of the computers, and some people don't want to take this guy's action or whatever, but I've always said this, and I'm sincere about it. There are a lot of people out there on the other side of the counter who know as much, or in a lot of cases know much more than me. So I want these people to bet with me, because I'd rather have these smart people in front of me as opposed to behind me. Now, that's a different situation, a lot of different joints, and I don't mind whatever you want to run your store like, that's fine. But my thing has been, relatively wide open to the degree. We've taken some very, very big bets at the South Point. Naturally, the Mirage, when I was there, was just like, I can't even begin to tell you how many people came in and bet. You would think carloads of money, but they showed up, and it's been fun ever since.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more House of Cards.
Don't just listen to House of Cards. Now you can be part of the show with the House of Cards hotline. Call us at 609-474-HOCR and leave a message for Ashley and the rest of the House of Cards crew. Comments about the show, poker questions, you just want us to know about great places to play, or you just got bluffed out of a pot. Your messages may even be played on the air. Give us a call at 609-474-HOCR. That's 609-474-4627. The House of Cards hotline, available 24 hours a day. Call the hotline or send us an email at info@houseofcardsradio.com, and don't forget to visit our website at houseofcardsradio.com and follow the show on Twitter and Facebook. By leaving a message with House of Cards, you consent to having your message played on the air.
Hey, it's Dave from House of Cards, and you know this show keeps me busy traveling around the country. Do you hear all that noise behind me? That's a casino floor in Atlantic City. Even though I'm around all this excitement, I still need a good night's sleep, and that's why I bring MyPillow everywhere. Now, don't get me wrong, the hotel rooms here are very comfortable, but some of their pillows aren't the best for my back and neck. That's why MyPillow is a must for me when I travel. And now there's a great new deal being offered by the folks at MyPillow. For a limited time, House of Cards listeners can receive a very special offer. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special tab, and use promo code CARDS or call 1-800-319-7913 to take advantage of this 4-pack special. You'll get 50% off 2 MyPillow premium pillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. MyPillow.com with promo code CARDS. That's promo code CARDS to take advantage of this 4-pack special. Better sleep starts with MyPillow.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa. The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Dinovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
New Jersey's online gambling market is loaded with so many different sites and all kinds of promotions, it's enough to make your head spin like the reels on an old-time Atlantic City slot machine. So how do you make sense of all that information floating out there in cyberspace? Well, you don't have to. That's because the folks at NJOnlineGambling.com have done all of that for you. NJOnlineGambling.com is your complete resource for all the online sites in New Jersey. Which games have the biggest jackpots? NJOnlineGambling.com has the answer. Which sites use PayPal for deposits? NJOnlineGambling.com has the answer. NJOnlineGambling.com is the most trusted guide to the New Jersey online gambling market. Industry news, site reviews, the latest slots, table games, poker, they got it all in one spot. It's the ultimate resource for online players in New Jersey. They even got the best sign-up offers, better than some of the ones being offered by the online casinos themselves. Look, they say bet with your head, so why not do the same before you bet and check out NJOnlineGambling.com, the most trusted resource around for New Jersey's online gambling market. House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to Drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with Drizzly.com. BrightTech offers unique no-dust lighting products that fit right into your home, no construction required. Elevated designs should be available to everyone, not just the folks with the big bank accounts. Trick out your living room, create your perfect reading nook. Whatever the situation, BrightTech has a lighting solution for you. And now get 5% off of your entire order when using our promo code RADIO5OFF at checkout. Head on over to BrightTechShop.com and start designing the life you want. BrightTech, your bright life realized. Hey, this is Dave Weishuttle from House of Cards with your House of Cards Gamer Report for the week of March 18th, 2019. It looks like Pennsylvania is expanding gambling to truck stops. 4 truck stops in the Keystone State have been given conditional approval to operate video gambling terminals on their property. The 4 truck stops are operated by Love's Travel Stops and Country Stores and could have final approval to operate the gambling machines later this year. Sugar House Casino in Philadelphia has been fined $30,000 for an incident involving 2 players from a filming of Poker Night in America. In the footage, it was shown that poker players Doug Polk and Jeremy Kaufman negotiated to play a hand of 10-card stud poker, a game not authorized by the Pennsylvania Gaming Control Board. It was discovered after regulatory personnel reviewed security tape and footage from the TV show. And finally, the Star Casino in Sydney, Australia was forced to fire one of its dealers for stealing. In security footage, the dealer was seen allegedly fidgeting with casino chips and then grabbing one of the chips between his ring and pinky fingers before disappearing underneath the table. Well, it turns out the dealer allegedly stuffed a yellow $5,000 chip into his sock. Apparently, yellow really shows up on those 3,000 security cameras on the casino property. Have any news or tips regarding casinos, gaming, or legislation? Send us an email at newsroom@houseofcardsradio.com and follow us on Twitter at HOC Radio. Something exciting is happening in New Jersey. People are cheering in Cherry Hill and cashing in chips, pumping fists in Fort Lee and flopping full houses. Get the thrill and play on your laptop, tablet, or mobile at BorgataPoker.com. Real money anywhere in New Jersey. The Borgata Hotel and Casino is a name you can trust, so you can be sure that BorgataPoker.com is secure. And now with a $25 deposit, you can get a $20 bonus when you sign up for Borgata Poker at HouseOfCardsRadio.com. Remember, you must be at least 21 and physically present in New Jersey to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I say this, there's no such thing as a poker pro. No matter what Norman Chad says on the telecast, it's a total myth.
I butter my bread with guys like this. They come out here by the plane load, the bus load, the car load. They think they got the game clocked because they can riffle chips with either hand.
Bet 200.
Call.
Brunson, Gus Hansen, Seidel. Ain't nothing special. Watch them on TV back in my house in Aliquippa. It's just so freaking obvious to me that they're bluffing.
I know, man. I can always tell what they've got.
Oh, sure. It's obvious when ESPN is showing you their hole cards. There's no hole card cam here. You want to know what I'm holding? You're going to have to read my face. Little advice, kid. If you're going to wear the shades to keep me from looking at your eyes, don't adjust the frames whenever you catch an ace.
Call.
Oh, honey, don't give your stack a hand job every time you're going to raise.
Why not? I raised 500.
But Aliquippa, you're the best. You don't know it, but tonight, you're my ATM.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Whoa! I think we got a show.
Oh, yeah, we got a show.
We definitely got a show.
Oh, yeah, there's a show. Hey, it's all about ratings, baby, and we got them.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you here. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Jimmy Vaccaro from the Rivers Casino Sportsbook in Pittsburgh. You know, in Vegas, you learned your craft and you really became a master of what you do. How difficult was it to leave Vegas and come back east to work?
Well, first of all, I don't think I would have done it. and not to try to throw my ego in front of everybody, but
I'll do it for you. Don't worry about it. Unfold is simply, I was contacted by a lot of other people in a lot of other states. Well, I would have never, ever considered going there. The only place it fell into my lap would be if something in Pennsylvania would become available, and naturally with Pittsburgh being 22 miles east of where I grew up, that was the catalyst that made me come out. Plus, the Rivers people have been nothing but great to me, from Bill Keena at the Rivers to Greg Carlin, the CEO of all the Rivers stuff and all the Rush Street interests that they own. That's what drove me. And 73 years old. And that was a big part also. I come back here, being from an Italian family with 20 cousins. I still see a lot of them, and it's still been fun. But it's still a work in progress here. It's not a slam dunk, only because the growth that they're going to see real quick. Now, the first few weeks at the Rivers, the Super Bowl Sunday was as I expected. Insanity, but insanity in a way where I was actually surprised. More people knew what they were doing as opposed to more people who didn't know what they were doing. That's a pretty good sign. But like I said, the Pittsburgh area was the first thing. The nice people that I'm working for now, and we'll go from here and see what happens. Well, tell me something about the book. I mean, when I walk in there for the first time, what am I seeing? What am I experiencing? Take us through the book. What's the experience like?
Well, first of all, it's like all the other states that have been opening up, around the area, around the country, is simply these are mostly temporary books. You wanted to get open and obviously take the action and see what it was like from the auditing side and compliance side and whatever. Now the Rivers, I imagine it's another 3 to 4 months. They are starting the process of getting down to to build a huge sports book, naturally with all the bells and whistles that go along with it, and that'll be open probably sometime in May or June. So they wanted to get open to see what it was like. So what I had seen and what I had recommended for them to do so far, they're taking all this stuff in. That doesn't mean they have to do what I think might be a good thing for them down the line, but they're very, very wide open. So you walk into the Rivers Sportsbook right now. There's six tellers. There's a nice area to watch all the games. And then the biggest surprise that I had, not that I didn't know was coming, are the kiosks. The kiosks now are the self-betting stations that you just simply walk, wait in line, go up there, and you're on your own up there. It's very, very easy. It's very fan-friendly and betting-friendly. They give you 5 minutes there, then the machine shuts off, and the next guy's got to come up. There are 12 kiosks in the River Casino Sportsbook. They are constantly, all 12 are in use because people are getting to the point of, as we spoke earlier, young man, like the computer age.
Sure.
They don't mind waiting a little while. They go up there, make their own bets, place their money in, place their vouchers in, they're out. I would imagine, just to guess early, we have 12 kiosks now in the temporary book at the Rivers. I would suggest you'll probably see 24 to 30 of them once we get near the football season, because people like to do it themselves. People more apt to understand what's going on, and it takes a lot of the crush away from the window that the people are doing, the one-on-one bets with the teller. So that's the biggest thing I saw, and hopefully, like everybody else, and naturally I know people all over the country, Johnny Avello's, the FanDuels, and the DraftKings and whatever, they're going through the same growing pains that everybody else is. Don't think you're going to open up, as I told these people a long time ago, don't think you're going to open up and it'll be a slam dunk. You'll go through like any other business. You'll listen to the customers, you'll listen to the people who work for you, and you'll go from there. But there's not a book out there, whether it's in service now or in service, next month or next year or whatever, who won't go through growing pains. You got to relax, take a step back, understand what your customer base is, and then go from there and do the right thing.
I also love the fact that the Rivers has that betticket.com where you can put the bet on your phone and then bring it up to one of the tellers and confirm your bet. I think it's amazing. I can ask you about, the kiosks and the bet tickets on your phone. I know it's an amazing convenience for the customer, but running a sports book, are they a convenience for you as running a sports book, or are they just one more headache that you have to worry about?
No, it adds to the time to give to A, the supervisor, and B, the managers, whatever, to do other things that need to be taken care of at that particular moment. You remember, you're still dealing with people, and people, they want to be the big shot when they're one you ask their question. They could care less about the other people in the joint, just like what they want. So if you can free up your supervisors. And what the Rivers does, it's a very good idea. At all times when there's people betting on the kiosk, there is either an attendant there from the department, the IT department, who takes care of everything from, if tickets run out, if people don't get the bet that they want, or if it's real busy, like if a ticket writer's on a break, he will go out there and he'll just be there constantly while the people are making bets. So just another little thing of understanding your base and having somebody there to remedy the situation, and you go from there. My thing has been for all these years is like, see it, take care of it, take care of the customer, and go to the next guy. And it seems to work pretty good.
I know it's not allowed yet in Pennsylvania, but what are your thoughts on mobile sports betting? I can tell you, I was in Atlantic City for the Super Bowl, and some of the sports books had their employees going to the people who were standing in line waiting to bet to try and get them to sign up to their mobile app. So how important is it for Pennsylvania sports books to be able to offer online betting?
Well, what I've been saying, and I think I'll be right, but it'll take about 3 to 5 years to prove that Jimmy was right and a lot of people weren't. This will be the biggest monster ever if you can get states like Pennsylvania, New York, and Ohio with all this population growth. It'll be so overwhelming, they have no idea. The amount of people they think will show up, I told them, listen, just relax, sit down. It'll be 3 times more than you think, only because it's convenient, only because it's not, let's call it up like it is also. I can call a McDonald's and make an order over the phone, then go, it'll be ready when I pick it up. People do have lives. People take their kids to school. People have doctor's appointments. And what we found out at the South Point way early on is like when we did this 5 years ago there, at the beginning we said, geez, maybe they won't come to the counter because they'll just do it on the phone. But we found out completely the opposite. People do make their bets on the phone, but that when they're done doing their early morning chores, they'll still come to the casino. The counter business has not dropped off one bit. But to answer your question, it's a phenomena that way back when I said, geez, it might have a little bit of life here. Well, I was completely wrong. It'll be a monster, and wait to see what happens when the phone apps are okay. It'll be incredible.
Well, I got to ask you something. I was speaking to the head of another Pennsylvania sportsbook who had a temporary location on their property, and I asked them about when are they going to have their permanent physical sportsbook. And they said, well, we're going to wait until the mobile comes out to see how well the mobile does to determine how big we want to do it and where we would want to put it on the property. And for me, that seemed a little backwards, but I guess, is that going to be the new reality across the country when casinos are planning out their sports books?
Well, put it this way, young man. It'll be the decision of the people who run that book or run that hotel, because some people will look at it different. They'll say, geez, we don't have to, we don't have to spend all this money because about 65% of our money is coming in on the app. So what they'll see, and, you can't blame them like any other business. Let's see what the guy next door does and see how it's affecting his walk-up business. Then you'll go from there. I would imagine that 70% of the people will still do it where it's the phone apps are in use, but they'll still remodel their sports book. There might be 30% by saying, hell, this is working just fine. Nobody is being shut out. Everything is done on time, and we don't have to spend another $1.5 million to, revitalize the sports book. So it'll be the opinion and the people who run the books. No, it's like every other business, as I've been talking about. You will run it accordingly to the way that it fits your clientele. Let's say you're in Philadelphia or New York. You might not want to go there every day because the other side of it simply being, you have choices. You can drive across to Delaware, drive across to New Jersey, or use the phone app for your Pennsylvania application. So a lot of new stuff will unfold. And let me tell you this, the smart ones will overcome it, and they'll do great.
Hold that thought, and we'll be right back with more House of Cards right after this quick break. Hey, it's Dave from House of Cards, and you know this show keeps me busy traveling around the country. Do you hear all that noise behind me? That's a casino floor in Atlantic City. Even though I'm around all this excitement, I still need a good night's sleep, and that's why I bring MyPillow everywhere. Now, don't get me wrong, the hotel rooms here are very comfortable, but some of their pillows aren't the best for my back and neck. That's why MyPillow is a must for me when I travel.
And now there's a great new deal being offered by the folks at MyPillow. For a limited time, House of Cards listeners can receive a very special offer. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the 4-pack special tab, and use promo code CARDS or call 1-800-319-7913 to take advantage of this 4-pack special. You'll get 50% off 2 MyPillow premium pillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. MyPillow.com with promo code CARDS. That's promo code CARDS to take advantage of this 4-pack special. Better sleep starts with MyPillow.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here. Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more. Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
You know, ever since the U.S. Supreme Court handed down its decision lifting the national ban on sports betting, the gambling landscape of the country is changing on a daily basis. So how do you keep up with all the latest news and developments? How do you know what each state is doing? You go to the one site that has all the information you need to stay ahead of the game, and that site is usbets.com. That's usbets.com. Written by the leading experts in the gambling industry, all you'll need is one visit to usbets.com and you'll see why it's the #1 gambling magazine in the USA. With usbets.com, you'll get up-to-date information on not just the sports betting scene, but also the latest news and notes on the entire gaming industry all across the country. It's not just one state, it's all of them in one spot. Stay in the loop and stay on top of your game. Get the latest news on sports betting and gambling from the country's #1 gambling magazine. Get on over to usbets.com. That's usbets.com.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Well, don't take it too hard. I've done a lot of stupid things in my life, too.
Stupid? What do you mean, stupid?
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you here. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Jimmy Vaccaro from the Rivers Casino Sportsbook in Pittsburgh. Now, I got to tell you, of course, I've seen you on VSIN, ESPN. I also follow you on Twitter, which you're a great follow on Twitter. There's a lot of great news, a lot of information. But how has the media helped in the expansion of sports betting, and how important is it for sports books to be active in the media and social media?
It's so important I can't even describe it anymore because it's free advertising. And anything, I always tell this story because it is what it is. You know, in 1979, I always tell the story about the Black Sunday where the Steelers won 35-31 against the Cowboys. And hear me, a Pittsburgh kid, and we got slaughtered because the game opened 2.5, went to 5.5, closed 4, and we got middle side and whatever it was. At that time, there was 3 different ways to bet the Super Bowl. You can bet on the side, you can bet on the total, and if you looked around, you might have found a halftime bet. Well, naturally, with the proposition bets and becoming so huge in this area, there was 300 different ways to make bets on the Super Bowl that passed just a few weeks ago. So from 3 ways to make a bet to 300 different ways to make a bet, you had to be ready. And with that, I think we kept growing and we kept trying to see what our neighbor did, then we try to outdo him, whatever. But that was like a slow process. But the kick in the backside was really when Refrigerator Perry crossed the goal line in the 1985 Super Bowl, where we got absolutely carried out, where we had anywhere between 40 and 60 to 1 that he would score a touchdown. So we got beat up real good. But every newspaper in the country, when they first started to hear about that, called in every sports book and said, what the hell happened out there? We heard all this stuff. Well, we told them exactly how it happened. So from that point, a lot of the people across the country would call before an event would happen and say, is there anything that, resembles Refrigerator Perry? And we would tell them the new things that we're doing. the media, and I've been fortunate. The guys I've been speaking with over the years have been really, really nice. But, I'm giving them information. So answer your question. It costs nothing for us to talk to you, to talk to anybody in the AP, to talk to anybody in every city. Now, I'm back in Pittsburgh. Well, naturally, everybody's talking about Antonio Brown. Everybody's talking about this, talking about that. And they call you up and ask you, is there an effect? Does it change anything that, with the betting odds or whatever? So, yes, it's a need, it's a must, and it's a big part of sports emerging from where it was because the whole country wants to know what's going on. And you know what? 98% of the people that I've spoken to over the past 40 years, when I do something, it's actually exactly the way it happened. They appreciate that. I don't hide anything. We get your butt kicked. You get your butt kicked. And I always tell them when it's a good week also, or also tell them, if this guy was playing, what would it be? Who's the favorite now? Whatever. Just giving an opinion. But yes, I might be long-winded here, but media is super, super important.
I got to ask you, sports betting is new to a lot of people on the East Coast, and I know a lot of people are visiting sports books for the first time. When a person is visiting a sports book and looking at that big board for the first time, what would be your advice to them before they place their first bet?
Well, like I told them, unless they don't want to get beat up by 200 people waiting behind you, you don't want to wait for 45 minutes in line, and you get to the front of the counter with the teller there, and you look at the person and say, I don't know what I'm doing, but my husband sent me to make this bet. Well, that you can't happen. You must be prepared before you get to the window. Now, get there early, finding out a little bit. If there's a supervisor that's hanging around and not doing much, go up to him or her and ask them, how do you do this and what goes on? Don't wait in line for 45 minutes and come to the counter. What I suggested, it seems like it works pretty good. First time people, okay, we have March Madness coming up, which will be an absolutely unbelievable event, first time on the East Coast. And I say, if you're going to come for the first time, bring whoever you're with or with your friends, because a lot of people make a lot of friends with these type of events. Come early, get your sheets, go to the coffee shop, have breakfast, talk it over with somebody who might know a little bit more than you, and then get in line. You'll be surprised how quick it goes, and call it like it is. It looks daunting when you stare at that board with all those numbers and red lights blinking, whatever. It can be like overwhelming. But once you get to the bottom of that and find out a little bit more how to do it, just with your bet numbers and the type of bet and the money you're going to bet, you'll be surprised how quick you become a genius like the rest of us.
Jimmy, we're running out of time, but I want to remind everyone if they want to check out what's going on at Rivers Casino Sportsbook, they can check out riverscasinosports.com. Jimmy, it's been an honor speaking with you today, and I can go on for hours, so I hope you come back real soon.
It's my pleasure, young man. Call me anytime you need. It's my pleasure.
Thanks a lot. The great Jimmy Vaccaro from the Rivers Casino Sportsbook. And that's all the time we have this week for House of Cards. See you next week.
Desert plain, you build a house of cards.